building my dome. Concrete walls, yeah, it's my home. Stockpile stacked with rations tight. Prep for the dark, we'll light the fight. Forage the woods, take what I need. Off-grid living, no time for greed. Barter goods in the shadow shade. Tactical steps in plans I've laid. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepared for the fall. Yeah, prepared for it all. Generators hum, a comforting sound. Blackout nights when chaos surrounds. Seeds in jars, yeah, we're growing life. Homestead and strong in a time of strife. No high-tech wires, no web to roam. Resilience beats the world unknown. Hands in the soil, hearts in the fight. Staying ready every day, every night. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Prepare for it all. When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlling freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might, tell me who's got the wrong kind of Reich? He builds his cars.
Okay, it looks like I'm here. Hopefully my sound is on. Guys, welcome for hanging out with us at this Saturday night live stream. I wanted to bring you guys something a little bit different. As usual, guys, if you have not got yourself into the chat just yet, now is the time to do that. Looks like alrighty. 8 hours ago was first rose number 2 Scorpion Meadows. I got the coins today. They're absolutely beautiful. You are deterred. Let's see here. We got Catitude in the house. We got Debbie. We got Rose. Alrighty then. Vegan cookies, good reviews. Deanna's here. Preston J here's Captain. My captain is here. And looks like that's all that have reported in yet. So I don't want to keep him in a holding pattern too long. I want to introduce the UK Urban Prepper. Can you hear us okay? We got a 5x5 over there in the greatness of Britain.
Clear as a bell. Clear as a bell.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Yeah, I really wanted to. I know we had tried to get together, Jesus, like 2 months ago, something like that. But with the world changing rapidly as the way it is, I figured it would be an opportune time to get somebody with some perspective. And I hate, for lack of better words, where they're preppers love freedom, and things are not so free over there in the greatest of Great Britons anymore, is it?
It depends who you're listening to and who you believe.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I was listening to there's another gentleman who does live streams. He's mostly financial stuff, and he was talking about how the farmers are they've destroyed over 65,000 agricultural businesses in the last year. And the government is actually, and people are actually saving money like crazy. They said there was over $650 billion saved in the banks in the UK last month. People are saving as much money as they can because they're really worried. Maybe you could help people out and let them know like some of the stuff that's going on there, you know, without getting yourself in trouble. We talked about this.
If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. This was always going to be the case when you elect a left-leaning party into politics. So the UK people only have themselves to blame because it was the election where they got in was such a low voter turnout because people are disillusioned with politics over here that they got in by default because they've got the diehards that voted them in, and it's just been disaster after disaster. And the freedom of speech is just non-existent here in the UK now, just literally non-existent. And Starmer sat down with Trump and said, "Oh, we're a big advocate of free speech." Everyone I know saw that, went, "What?" It's just insane.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, they actually have a it's like, what is it, the Safety Act or Security Act or something like that
For the internet.
Yes.
Oh yes, yeah. Basically stopping every single teenage boy visiting sites he needs to visit at that age.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's what they're supposed to be doing. So over there on your side of the pond, I'm hearing rumbles about like having to do like facial recognition verifications.
Yeah, so the age verification, there's all different methods of this age verification. It's even on things like X. So it's not just, it's like almost like a firewall between us and everything. So it's not like Elon Musk has put this in place. It's in there for everything. And you've either got to have an account that's been there for like 20 odd years so they know that you're that old, or you've got to upload ID. As you can imagine, many preppers don't want to upload their ID, and or they can do age verification by looking at your face. You know, so if you've got a baby face, then you're a bit knackered. But I don't want to upload my face to X or my ID to X. I've never had to. Why should I do it now?
Yeah. But you know, it's funny too because years ago during the great Facebook meme war of what was that, 2016, I actually had 6 Facebook accounts. Each one, like I would get one, I would say something that the left didn't like, and they would kill that account. It literally got to the point where they wanted me to. Facebook has an account verification process that gets down so nitty gritty when they start to question who you are. That you literally have to send them a picture of the front and back of your ID or your passport just to prove who you are. I was like, no, I don't need that. I'll wait a year and I'll get a Facebook account and I'll just use it just for whatever reasons. I just won't be very active on it. It's the articles that I was reading today about this safety, act that they're throwing on you guys is going to affect everybody in the UK. I mean, they're talking about like locking down domains, and IP verifications. I mean, just the craziest stuff to where I hate to say it, but literally they have the ability to control what you see.
It's 100%, and I'm seeing that myself already.
Yeah,
and just through. You'll know yourself just through news sources that are not mainstream media news sources. Some of them sites I can no longer access.
Wow. Can tell you, let me tell you some really weird stuff. So our email exchange that we had over the last 2 days is no longer in my Google account.
No.
No. I had to go find your email address again.
Odd.
Yeah, that is weird.
They don't want us talking.
That is very, very weird. But I was like, there's no way. No, I'm just screwing this up. I forgot how to read today. I searched everything. I set my I searched everything. It's all gone.
VPN people searching for free VPNs in the UK went up nearly 10,000% over the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, NordVPN is making mad cash right now. Yep. People all trying to get, and then that'll be the next thing. They'll say it's illegal. I know they did that in Canada. They made VPNs illegal. Matter of fact, Alrighty Then is my favorite Canadian. Alrighty Then, did they make VPNs illegal in Canada? Let us know. Put it in the chat. Also, Catitude, she got to the first step. I don't know if you've ever seen the great Poobah Preparedness come out before, but it only happens if they pay me. Because this whole thing was never my idea. You know, they just started sending me hats, and then I put tinfoil on it, and then the girlfriend dressed it up, and somebody recognized it as the Poobah. Are you familiar with the Flintstones?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you know how the Grand Poobah, you know, I've got a hat like that, and if they reach the goal, then the Grand Poobah comes out. And Catitude is the biggest problem of them all. She's the one who actually, I'm pretty sure she's the one who sent me the pink singlets. Yes. Oh, Ian's on the road. Ian just did it. Okay, so we'll see if we make it. I've been pretty lucky so far. You know, the last few times, only like one person's like, "Let's go, guys," and no one else will jump on the bandwagon. But Catitude is the one who got that all fired up. But yeah, so ironically, guys, you think this doesn't affect us? You'd be absolutely wrong, and here's why. There's actually a brand new bill that was put into Congress here in the United States, and it says, let's see here. The bill has no public transparency requirements. The public could be kept entirely in the dark about which sites are blocked or why they're blocked or how long the blocks remain in place. Supporters in the industry include the RIAA and Motion Picture Association. They're openly cheering the bill, pointing to similar measures overseas they claim have worked without harming free speech. But here, the key thing is so what block, they call it Blockbeard, really represents is a milestone. If passed, it would be the first time the U.S. created a standing legal process for cutting off access to entire websites at the network level. So yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, we must be the guinea pigs for it then, testing if it works over here.
Well, yeah, and I hate to say it too, because I think I may have mentioned to you before in the chat or something. My family's origins come from the Somerset region of England, and I've always wanted to visit there. And I know where my family's last name is written in a church in near Somerset. That you know what I'm saying? Where like the original, someone scribbled the name down there, you know. And I'd really love to go see that. But between all the things that are going on over there and the fact that I probably do have some kind of red flag next to my name at customs, you know, it's some of the things that I've said about like things aren't so great in the homeland, you know, I could probably never visit, which really, really sucks. Really, really sucks.
Yeah, I think because the UK went through that period with the riots and the Southport riots and stuff like that. And people were getting sick of it, and they were voicing their opinions on Facebook and stuff like that. And you know how on the ball the Facebook police are. But that started with viral clips of like officers going round to an old man's house, arresting him for a Facebook post.
Yeah, it is. If I hate to say it, but it's like it makes me so here in America. You know, we've got lots of guns and stuff like that. And, you know, there's always this talk about how, like, if they were to, like, make, you know, gun confiscation legal, or no, I'm sorry, if they ever put the military up against the civilian populace here in America, that the military wouldn't, you know, there are people that believe that the military would, like, shoot at civilians. But when you talk to the people in the military, it's only like the 17 and 18-year-olds that are like, yes, I'll follow orders. But the rest of them are like, that's stupid. I'm not doing that. You know, and we have the same thing with the majority of our law enforcement here in the United States. Unfortunately, it just seems like it's the exact opposite overseas. You know, it's and I always tell people, said, you know, at some point, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but at some point, there is a certain realization that every country has ever had where things are being done that are bad by a small amount of people that is much larger than them, and and it takes a long time for the populace to realize there's more of us than them, and we don't have to take this if we don't want to. You know,
well, I mean, yeah, but you have kind of an advantage with that situation. I mean, the Constitution protects you in a lot of ways that we don't have. And it's just become to the point, obviously, we're getting disarmed in the UK. Not just firearms and things like. You could still have firearms in the UK. You've got to go through a licensing procedure, but we're getting it's a very difficult process. But they're taking away certain lengths of knives, now swords, now crossbows is going to be the next one as well. So they're slowly, disarming a nation, which is how you breed complete subservience, right? So,
yeah, exactly. And if that's what I was saying it was earlier this week. That's in every single nation where they've took away the right to bear arms. They've removed the firearms, or they've tricked them, or whatever. That government has become tyrannical in some way, and normally slips into full on socialism. Unfortunately, I saw England slipping into socialism years ago. And a lot of other countries followed, and it's I hate to say it, but it has a lot. It's directly linked to the immigration problem there as well. Which we won't get too deep into, because that's a whole other monster all by it. You're like, oh my God, that's a whole monster all by itself.
I've said to people before, without saying too much and getting red flagged on here, we are now in the UK living in the times that in 3 years' time we'll say, oh, we should have seen it coming. Do you remember when this happened? We should have seen it coming. And we are in them should have seen it coming times right now.
Yep.
So when it all hits the fan in a few years' time, however that may be, we'll be like, yeah, we all did see it coming, but nobody did anything about it.
But hopefully the preppers will have like something, set aside that will have taken those few years to, plus up their stocks and things like that. For you guys, I think that these situations are almost benign to us here in the United States, because we see them happening. We see the socialization of government here in the United States. We have a full-on socialist who's trying to run to be the mayor of New York City.
Yeah.
They have the largest police force on the planet. They have over 2 million officers for their city. And this guy wants to defund them. It's like, so none of it makes any sense. Everything that they say doesn't make any sense, but there's just not enough, I hate to say this, but young, smart people that are basically like, this is bull. If you were sitting next to Dad in his recliner and, watching the TV, or the telly, as you call it over there, Dad would be like, this is bullshit. And you'll be like, and so why? And he'd be like yelling at you, like, and telling you why this is so stupid, right? But we have an entire generation of kids that have come up without that.
They've come up with a schooling and colleging that is teaching the opposite of that. That is teaching them left-leaning, idealisms and stuff like that. It's probably the same. Well, I know it's the same over there, because I've seen Charlie Kirk go into the colleges and speak to the people there, and some of them are so delusional with it all. Zero life experience, just what has been drilled into them.
Yeah. And they think that they're intelligent because they got A's in social sciences.
Zero street smarts.
Yeah, exactly. These are the same people that I don't like to promote violence, but I came up pretty rough. And these are the same people that don't understand what it's like to be punched in the face. And once you do, you understand that there's a different world out there, that this one you're living in doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because the second you step into it, everything you thought you knew, you don't know anymore.
Yeah, but have you seen over here that they're trying to lower the voting age now?
Yeah, I hear they want to vote to like 16.
16-year-old. So they're still in school, and they're wanting them to have the vote. Why? Because all they've had is that they've not had the life experience. They've not realised, hang on, this is a crock of shit. So they're going to get a mass youth vote of a load of people, who are 16-year-old. It's insane.
And when you're 16, you think you know everything anyway, and nobody can tell you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Free McDonald's would buy the vote for a lot of
them. They tried that here, right?
Did they?
Yes, during that thing we can't talk about.
All right.
Yes, in New York City, they offered them free McDonald's if they went and got the thing.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Support the agenda, guys. Support the
I know,
agenda.
right? Hey, you guys in the chat, if you remember that happening, put a 1 in the chat. Let's go ahead and wake the chat up real quick. Let the algorithm know. Also, if you guys haven't hit that thumbs up yet, make sure that you do. Also, I have also put the link to Mike's. Mike, that's his actual name, Mike. We talked. He said I can use it.
Yeah.
To Mike's YouTube page, UK Urban Prepper, and make sure you guys go and follow him. Before we get to the part where I have to pay some bills, there was an article. And I kind of told him I was going to do this, but there's like 6 things that UK preppers need to get ASAP, and this actually came out yesterday. It's kind of serendipitous that we have this whole thing set up, huh?
There you go. There you go. Fate.
But they're all kind of almost tariff related. Have you guys been feeling any of that yet?
The tariff stuff.
Yeah.
Not any more than everything else that's already going on. Our inflation is ridiculous. Like, I'm about to put a video out in the next few days where when I first started the channel, I did these like £20 prep shops, you know, like a budget prepping shop. And I'm going to go and do the same and see what I get for the same money. Food inflation's gone up nearly 120% in a year on many products.
Wow.
My salary hasn't gone up 120%.
Yeah, exactly.
I can guarantee you. But yeah,
exactly.
We're feeling it in the cost of living generally over here. The net zero agenda that they've got for this carbon power stuff is just killing us as well, because that's through the roof. I've not seen anything on the tariffs yet that's directly affected us, but I expect it. It's a matter of time.
I got
you could say that's what we're seeing with this cost of living increase. It could just be all.
Yeah. Well, the economist that I listen to that covers the UK, he was talking today about how the way, and you guys have the same problem with your numbers that we have over here. You got somebody doing the numbers, giving statistics, and they add and take away to make the statistics look how they want them to look. You know, any statistician is worth his weed, and is going to know how to do that. But he was saying that it's really bad over there because the unemployment rate is they're saying that it's like 4.5%, but they're like adding in guys who like, hey, I did my normal job during the day, and then I've got a side gig where I Uber or I deliver food. You guys call it something different than what we call it. Mm. But like if I do like 2 hours worth of food delivery, they're counting that as like a full-time job. So basically your unemployment rate in the UK right now is moving up on 10%.
We reward unemployment in this country. If you're a hard-working individual, you can't afford to live in the UK. If you're a single person, if it's you and Mrs. Urban Prepper both got jobs, yes, we can afford to live. But with the cost of rents, it's basically, most countries, it's between 1/3 and 2/3 of your income is your cost of living. Here, it's 3/3. It's 4/3 even. And most people can't afford to live as it is. I know 35, 36-year-old blokes still living with their parents because they can't afford to move out. One of the guys at the prepper meet, he has 3 of his kids living with him still, and they're all in the 30s because none of them can afford to move out.
Wow, that's much worse than our analogy of living in your parents' basement. That's pretty bad, you know. And you know what? I kind of think it kind of sucks because you live in the old world, not as in a bad thing, but as in the old world where like all of the stuff before 1776. You know what I'm saying?
I noticed the shirt. I did notice the shirt.
Oh yeah, the serendipitous, right? But but like I've been, one of my favorite places on the planet is Germany. I've drinking beer from the oldest brewery on the planet there. And I absolutely love that place. I've been in those churches and the real old country. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of Americans have never experienced that, and they never will. So it's in the old country, it's actually not that bad to live with your parents. You know what I'm saying? Your family units are actually much tighter than they are here in America, because in America, the standard is 18 years old, get a job, join the military, get out. You're not sleeping on the couch all day long. The Xbox is mine because you didn't pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
that's how I grew up, and that's how
Yeah.
you know. So I left, joined the army, sort of thing, and even when I came back from there, it was a case of you're on your own. This is what you do as a man. You
Yeah.
find your own feet, but it's just gone. It's just not possible anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, so average salary over here, so let's say, £1,500 to £1,600 a month. Yeah, just on an average salary. There's a 2-bedroom house down the road for me that's up for rent. The rent alone is £1,500 a month.
Wow.
Not including council tax, rates, electric, anything like that. All them bills are on top. So if you were just a single person working over here, there's no way you can live on your own. Just can't do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That sounds like New York City, to be honest with you. Their rent is the highest in the world.
I've seen the box apartments they have.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy the amount of money that you'll pay. You know, we visited New York City about 2 months ago, and if you are inside Manhattan, one night is anywhere from $250 to $500 for a single night. But if you go through the tunnel over to Newark, New Jersey, the rooms are $69 a night, and they're the same ones. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Location. Right?
Exactly. Okay, so I think we covered what we wanted to do on that one. I don't want to get you in any trouble with your overlords there. I mean, I'm positive you're familiar with the Funky Prepper situation.
Yeah, but he shouted out for a group that was pretty much a right wing on the terrorist list, and that's what got him in that trouble.
That's what he did.
Yeah, it wasn't anything to do with his video content on here. It was some post on social media, and obviously because he'd done that, they just decided to jump on and investigate everything. But
yeah, that was pretty crazy. That would have not happened here in America. Sorry, but that would have been like, okay, search warrant. What you want to take? What? Okay, give it back. Go look for it. Copy it. Bring it back. They shut that guy down so hard it wasn't even. It's kind of interesting seeing him. I don't actually watch him anymore, but the ones that I did watch, it's like everything in his background is completely gone now. You know,
the "Don't tread on me" flag and things like that. Yeah,
that really made some people angry over there. But okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pay the bills here real quick. And let me see here. Let me make sure I can do this. There we go. I've got that up right there. Good to go. All right, guys. As usual, you know how this works. If you love your country, not your government, but your country, put a number 1 in the chat. America. I'm going to drink some Red Bull because I'm trying to stay awake tonight. It's 0100 there now. If you guys don't know your military time, you probably should look it up. I'm going to talk some smack. I'm going to read you some stuff because it's educational, and we're going to talk about more UK prepping stuff here in a second. Time to get serious, guys. Come here. What if the medical kit you carry could be trusted to save a life every single time? I'm here to tell you about Refuge Medical, an American company that's redefining what it means to be prepared. Now, Refuge Medical is proudly 100% American, based in Oklahoma. Every single component in the first aid kit and trauma gear, from the tourniquet to the gauze to the trauma shears, is sourced right here in America. No shortcuts, no compromises. When you choose Refuge Medical, you're not just investing in your safety or your loved ones. You're supporting American families and rebuilding American manufacturing, which is kind of important right now. Now, why are Refuge Medical kits the best on the planet? Well, it's simple. Because they're field tested and trusted by professionals and built to exceed military standards. Their BearVac 3.0, for example, has saved over 145 lives and counting. These aren't just supplies, guys. They're precision tools designed for real emergencies, crafted with premium American-made materials to ensure you are ready when seconds matter the most. And here's what sets Refuge Medical apart. They guarantee their product for life. That's right, forever. If any part of your kit fails, they replace it. No questions asked. But it gets even better. If you use Refuge Medical gear to save a life, they'll replace those used items for free. That's how much they believe in their mission to empower you to become a lifesaver. So, why settle for less when you can trust the best? Choosing Refuge Medical, American made, unmatched quality, and guaranteed for life. Just smart. Refuge Medical isn't just about gear. It's about giving you the confidence to act when it matters the most. Back to the show. Okay. I really need to shorten that commercial up.
That was so finely tuned and polished. I was like getting my credit card out while you were speaking. Do they ship to the UK?
You know what? They probably do. Not a
go.
joke. They really are awesome. You know, there are some people over. So TJ, I think his last name is Morrison. He's they just call him Bear from the internet. You've probably seen him. He's the real deal, man. He is the real deal. He's got probably 5 companies under his belt. He actually, like, one of his companies is, or should I say, it's a charity, actually, like, hires SF guys to go rescue kids that are in the trade. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's to the point where it's like these people just live completely invisible off the grid. They're literally the people who we're going where? All right, good. What do you want me to do? Okay, I'll see you in an hour, and that's it. Like in the movies, it's pretty amazing what they do. And the gear that he makes is pretty freaking awesome. If you like rip it, like if you destroy his gear and send it back to him, say I was doing this, and this, their mentality is, okay, we got to make this stronger and that stronger, fix that, and then he just sends it right back to you fixed or something brand new, right? And then in about a month, you get, you know, the Bearfac 3.2 because we found a problem with it, that kind of thing. It's pretty amazing. But that commercial's 2 minutes long. I really need to shorten that commercial. Anywho, hopefully your buddies over there in the UK will enjoy it. So let's see. The second half we wanted to talk about the 6 things UK preppers need to get ASAP. I love those. I've made videos like that too. I've made those videos, you know, but they kind of make sense. But I try not to use my my monster truck announcer voice very often. Some people don't like it.
Monday.
Yeah, exactly. So first thing on the list is a car. Okay. And there's actually like justifications. So I'll just read these out. It says Trump's 25% tariffs on automobiles effective since April may lead European brands like Mercedes-Benz and BMW to raise UK prices to offset costs. If you're planning to buy a car, now is a good time to act.
There you go.
Agree or disagree?
I think the second-hand market with cars is the way to go anyway, because they're trying to push this EV agenda. And yes, I know, guys, I have an EV. I'm sorry, I'm part of the problem. But it's a work-subsidized one. But yeah, it's second-hand cars are the way to go anyway. We don't get that many American cars here, so it's not going to be directly affecting that. Mm-hmm. And I don't see how they justify it. Yeah, I honestly don't see how they justify it. The difference is we do have the Chinese cars that you guys don't have.
Yeah, so I've never seen them. I've actually heard they're kind of good.
I've got one. The BYD is what I've got.
Yeah.
And it was purely because it's through the work scheme who, you know, are pushing this net zero thing.
Yeah.
Cheap car for me, free fuel, so why not?
Hey, don't feel bad, man. When I was on active duty as a Marine, I used to drive a periwinkle blue Toyota Prius.
There you go.
And I would go into the parking lot and park next to all these giant jacked up trucks with big old wheels, and they would, how's your little girl car? Beep beep. You know, it's like, how's your bank account? I get 400 miles to the tank, and my tank is only 10 gallons thick. It was a hybrid, or 10 gallons. It was a hybrid, and they would just like, you're gay, you know.
The diplomatic approach.
I know, right? All else fails, call him gay.
I would agree. The thing is, the majority of the UK don't need a car because they're in a city and stuff like that. If you live in the centre of London, having a car would be a hindrance more than a help.
I got you.
But if you want to bug out, then you know it's gonna be the way to go.
Yeah, so. I got you. Well, listen. Unfortunately, you have to see this. So they pushed it over the edge. They kept pushing the wrong buttons and giving me like 99 cents and $2.99, but they just met the Pooh-Bah goal, and everybody's like, "Hey, thumbs up!" Hey, Grumpy, good to see you, man. All right, hold on, let me get it. I don't know how I'm going to do this. The headset, maybe I have to turn it backwards or something like that, maybe. This is going to be very different. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Everything's on backwards. This is the ridiculousness. Yeah, the girlfriend just one day, she's like, let me see that. And she went into the back room and she got into her crazy jewelry. And then the next thing I know, I'm the grand poobah. And they freaking, I don't know why they love this. Maybe they just like, they want me to look stupid. Do I lose street cred when I do this?
Tinfoil hat's what prepping's all about, according to a lot of people.
I can't even do this backwards. Let me see here. I feel like I'm not doing it right, but this is how they pay me, I guess. All right, so now I have to deal with this, and believe it or not, tinfoil on your head is extremely hot.
It's a bit scratchy as well.
Everything is backwards. Are you guys happy now? Are you freaking happy? Okay, so I guess the next question I was going to ask you is like, so how do you feel about having American cars there in Europe? Because you're about to see a whole buttload of them come over there. I don't know if they'll be affordable, but you're about to see them.
The thing is certain cars that you make, the smaller cars, the ones that you're on about where they said, are you gay sort of thing, they will work. Big cars don't work over here because we've got windy little roads. We've got cars parked on both sides. My friend had a H2 Humvee, and he couldn't go anywhere.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how you got a Humvee in there. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of those roads, these like little alleyways in between buildings are still cobblestone and everything. And yeah, I can see what you're saying. So the little cars will work, but the big cars won't.
Don't get me wrong, I would love a Dodge Ram truck to be, available over here and stuff like that. I'm a big fan. So,
nice.
But the road's just not built for them. Just not built for them.
Yeah, I honestly, I hadn't thought about that.
They would have to manufacture something over there. Obviously, they'd have to manufacture it over here because it's a different hand drive anyway. But they'd have to manufacture smaller versions.
Yeah. With
like tighter turning circles for over here.
Yeah, I always wondered, how's it feel driving on the wrong side of the road?
It's the right side of the road.
No, we drive on the right side of the road.
Well, honestly, it's the one thing America does well is you can go through a stop sign if you're turning that way. Is it? So you'd be on the right. If you're turning right, you can go through a stop sign still. Don't have that here, and that's
it's probably kind of really dangerous to do there.
It's common sense.
Oh, so you're not allowed to, is what you're saying?
No, we can't. So we're driving on the left, obviously. We can't take a left turn on a red light like that. We can't do it. So, yeah.
That's what all those horns were about last time I was in Germany. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's see here. The next thing on the list is mortgages. So tariffs could drive global inflation, promoting central banks to tighten monetary policy. This may increase UK mortgage rates, making it wise to secure a mortgage before borrowing costs rise. What do you think about that?
Year on year, they go through the roof. So it's no difference. I don't have a mortgage. I'm renting at the moment, and we're looking to buy land in Scotland.
Okay.
But I won't get a mortgage for that. I'll save and I'll buy that.
You just buy it outright. That's probably the smartest thing to do, too.
Even if I'm living in a tent for the first 6 months, I'll build my house. So that's the way I'm going.
And how are the taxes going to be there in Scotland? Better than England, I hope.
Generally, it is, yeah. And it's the free healthcare that everyone hears about over here. Yeah. We don't have it in England. We've got to pay for all our prescriptions and stuff like that. Where in Scotland, it's still free. So, and they don't pay for a water bill in Scotland, where we have to pay for our water. So there's all sorts of benefits and stuff. But the bottom line is, land is still cheap enough to own up there.
Yeah.
If I try and buy the same size lot down south, like Somerset, like you're on about, it would cost me millions, not thousands, millions.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about that? I don't know if you can still do it or not, but years ago, they were selling plots of land in Scotland. They were literally 1 yard by 1 meter by 1 meter.
For the title.
Yes, for the title of that land, right? And then so what people would do is they would do that, And I guess there was some law that says that once you own land there, that you can like move there if you want to, or
Yeah,
you could
you can be
like
classed as a lord or a lady.
yeah, you actually get like certain rights there, because you own land.
I think it was a bit of a, like, where you can own a piece of the moon. I
Oh, it
think
was
it's
a
one of
sham.
those.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was a sham.
I have no doubt that thousands of people think they own this piece of land in Scotland, but it's all the same piece.
I feel like I should have got in on that. Okay, let's see
But
here.
it wasn't long ago you could buy a castle in Scotland for £1.
Oh yeah.
Because you had a covenant with it where you had to do the work on it, you had to do it up, it came with all the costs, but the actual
Yeah.
castle would cost you £1 because you had
Wow.
to agree to the millions of pounds worth of renovations.
That doesn't sound like a good deal at all.
Well, there's no
Okay.
timeline. I'll say, yeah, I intend to do these renovations at some point.
Oh, I see. Okay. I would just rent it out, man. I'll be like, hey, you want to spend the night in the castle for, I don't know, something pounds or something? I'm not
Yeah.
sure. All right. So, number 3 on the list, cans. This is definitely prepper focused. So, Trump's aluminum import tariffs are likely already impacting prices. Businesses may further increase costs for canned goods to cover the export expenses. So stocking up now could save money. Is that a big thing over there? Basically in the preparedness space, having lots of canned goods, or do you guys can all your own stuff?
Generally, it's buying cans. There's not many canners over here. We do have them. We do have people like as part of our network that do it and stuff like that. But it's all space. And this, at the end of the day, you've got to think about square footage we have over here. Like in a 3-bedroom house over here, it's probably a fraction of the square footage you'll have in a 3-bedroom house over there. So canned goods have gone up. Like I said, the percentage of food going up, it's gone up. Like I've got cans of chili in there that I paid £1 for last year, and it's now £1.89 for the same thing.
Yeah, almost twice as much. Yeah.
Yeah, there's different ones that have gone up even more so, and it's just, yeah, it's insane. So you do get a lot of preppers straight onto the canned goods. Freeze dried is ridiculous through the roof, and we don't have any made here. We can import the Ready Wise, we can import the Augustin Farms and stuff like that, but it is what it is. You pay the import duty, you pay the shipping, so it's through the roof.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be
canned goods is the way to go
incredibly
here.
Freeze dried foods is expensive enough as it goes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, let's see here. Kitchen foil, similar to cans, aluminum-based products like kitchen foil may see prices hike due to import tariffs, making it a smart item to buy in bulk before August 1st. So all of your aluminum foil is about to go through the roof.
I don't use it.
This does not affect me. It doesn't. I have all the aluminum. This is going to be really valuable one day.
It's just, it's one of those things that, I mean, I must buy once a month, if that, and I
Yeah.
rarely use it. And it's not, I mean, if that went up 100%, it's not going to break the bank anyway. Really, it doesn't cost £1 in the pound shops or the dollar stores like you have. So I mean, it's not something I'm going to panic and stockpile. If it becomes £10 a roll of aluminum foil, I'm just not going to use it. I'm going to find an alternative, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's see here. So this next one is actually going to be kind of important, which we've talked about already. So food, with 48% of UK food imported and the EU facing the 20% US export tax, which may have changed since the last time of this. I know they made a deal. US export tariff supermarket prices could surge. Stocking up on non-perishable imported foods may help mitigate future cost increases. So the food's pretty high. What are you thinking?
I've been preaching this from day one. As an island nation, we are completely not self-sufficient at all. Like 40 to that, I mean, what do they say? 48%. But I always say 40 to 50% of what's on people's plates is imported. And it's not just tariffs you've got to think about with that. It's knock-on effects of the conflicts going on, because we import a lot of our medication from Israel. We import a lot of food all the way across to the Polish states and stuff like that. So if they suddenly are in a state of war, they're not going to be shipping their stuff out. They're going to be keeping it to themselves.
Yeah.
We don't have enough farms and food to feed the population. Simple as that.
Yeah,
If we were cut off, we'd starve.
yeah, that's and we were talking about that before. It's okay, guys. I love you. I appreciate the money, but this thing is not working with my. I'm going to figure out a way to wear a headset and do the poobah thing. But rest assured, it's right here on my desk waiting for you. Yeah, I don't understand. It's like I know that. What was it? Was it the German or the Swiss that had the big the farm protests? Where
France had massive ones.
Was France?
Yeah.
I just don't understand the logic that some of these people that are in positions of power have, that they would literally be trying to shut down farms and take away family farms that have been in their families' names for 100 years. So
because you've elected a party in the UK that are all about, you're going to tax the rich, not realizing if you tax the rich more, guess what they do? They leave.
Yes,
they leave. And then they're saying, rich farmers can afford it. You could have a multi-million pound farm. That's land and that's assets. So then your inheritance tax is going to be 20% of the value of them land and assets. They don't have that in cash.
Yep.
Our farms can't pick their prices. They can't milk the cow and say, we want this much for it. It's a preordained price by the government. It's as simple as that.
And a lot of people just don't, I hate to say it, but a lot of people, they don't know what they're talking about, because very rare are farmers rich. Even if a farmer is, a landowner can be rich, you know what I'm saying? But a farmer cannot be rich, because they're living, they know how much money they can spend every single month so they don't starve to death during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the life of a farmer. I don't care where you're from, where you live, what country you're in. That's the life of a farmer.
Yeah.
And God forbid there's, they have bad weather and the crops go bad, and then they have to recalculate and like, hey, there's not enough money this year. We're going to have to figure. Next thing you know, I don't know how we have pretty strong government loan programs for our agricultural system here. I don't know how they are there, but some of these farmers are like, multi-generational farms are being closed here in the United States because something went wrong and the government wasn't there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the government should support everybody, but we have programs that are, billions of dollars that are set aside every year that we should be taking care of these people who their number one job is to grow the food and take care of everybody else's needs.
Yeah. I mean, for me, if you're any business, if you're not allowed to set your own price, you should be subsidized. If it's a competitive market and I'm a dairy farmer and I want to sell my milk for this much because it's really good quality and I think people will pay it, I should be allowed to. But to keep all the supermarket prices low, they've got to have it as a set thing. So then he's never making a profit because it's a fixed price. I've had a dairy farmer on my channel speaking about this. And they work the hardest probably out of most jobs that you will have in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid o'clock in the morning, and they just what do? We just knock I know people are going to lose the whole family farms because of it.
That's insane. I just think that's absolutely insane. And then the other side of it, I don't know over here, but I know that there's actually a huge agenda to try and get these multi-generational farms there in the UK to sell, and so that basically the Black Rocks of the world can come in and buy up the land, and then we're not sure what they're going to do with it, but we know that it's happening.
I know what they're going to do. We're going to have solar farms more than we've got agricultural farms. Part of the deal we've just made with the States is to do with agriculture as well. So I have no doubt that our 40% EU food is soon going to become 30% USA food and 40% EU food, and we're going to have nothing created in this country. If we were isolated, if it was World War II Blitz time, everyone would have to start growing things in the garden to even get by.
Yeah. And they should.
During them times that you talked about, we saw the supermarkets end like it's just in time, stocking. So we saw them empty in no time at all.
Yeah, we had the same thing here. It was pretty amazing to see it how it all happened as rapidly as it did.
Yeah.
But I guess it just goes to show that there's a good time to be a prepper, because when it did go down, I think I went to the store like twice, and that's only because I absolutely needed something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Did you have the bans over there on certain things? Because over here they said you could only go and buy essentials. So they closed off the clothing section of supermarkets. You weren't allowed to go and buy clothes. Apparently clothes are not essential, but if I ran around naked, they'd have something to say about it.
Yeah. No, we didn't have any of that, but what we did have was people I don't know how it is there, but people in America, when they think that there's going to be a shortage of something, they hoard it.
Oh yeah.
They go and they buy just as much as they possibly can of it. And so a lot of the stores had to implement limits, like only 2 dozen of eggs, but you'd have to come back the next day, or you'd have to get somebody to come in behind you, and things like that, or toilet paper, the great toilet paper debacle.
So we had that, and then it all went out. Here's something interesting for you. I went into a supermarket the other week, and there was limits on the cans. You could only buy 6 cans of this certain item. You could only buy 4 cans of this certain, and it was the cheaper stuff that you would potentially stockpile. Why are limits in place now? That's the question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's clearly not going to be the end of the world. But I think that probably goes back to the whole the aluminum thing. With the price of cans going to start to go through the roof, and producers aren't going to be able to provide those as rapidly as they want to, and they're probably not. It's not rationing per se. It's more like, I would like to be able to keep these on the shelf, and that's impossible when somebody comes in and buys an entire flat of them. But yeah, no, that's interesting. That's something to keep an eye on. You know what I'm saying? It's something to keep an eye on. Let's see here. The last one on the list is plastic goods. As tariffs disrupt global trade, you can clearly tell a lefty wrote this, because everything's Donald Trump's fault, and it's everything is more. It's like, oh, we're talking about tariffs today versus it's a tariff war. It's crazy. As tariffs disrupt global trade, imported plastic goods could become pricier. Purchasing these items now may help avoid higher costs after the new tariffs take effect.
I mean, that's super vague, right? Like, just look around you right now. How many plastic things can you see?
Plastic. Just machine, plastic.
What am I stockpiling up on? I'd have to literally fill my house with plastics. I don't understand.
All right, honey, we're out of money. We need to buy groceries. Start melting the plastic down. Everything instead of gold bricks or silver bricks, it's going to be like plastic bricks.
There you go. We've seen the future, guys. You heard it here first.
That's insane. Start melting everything down. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be going stockpiling anything plastic right now. I don't think not more than I already stock other stuff anyway. But,
I got you.
That's very vague. That was a very vague list of 6 things you have to stock
that you need to get ASAP.
No medical supplies, nothing like that. Just plastic, right?
And nothing that could actually save your life, or food in your belly, that kind of thing. Before we run off here, let's go ahead and look at the chat here real quick. I see some people I don't recognize. Polonium, thanks for hanging out with us. I guess that's one of your guys. For content, UKUP has his legs waxed on. Oh, I saw that thumbnail, but I didn't. I was like, I don't have time for this. I'll look at this later. I'm going to put down a little bit of liquor before I do that.
We got a lovely smooth leg for help for hero. For the veterans, for the veterans.
Okay. I thought maybe you're like one of those guys. It's like I'm an Olympic swimmer and I got to get rid of all my hair so I'm more aerodynamically. I know some of the cyclists do that stuff.
No, we don't look after our veterans over here at all. It's ridiculous. We've got homeless veterans, yet we've got illegal people living in 5-star hotels. Mm-hmm. So anything I can do, we've raised over £2,000 for Help for Heroes, which is a veterans charity. So I'm doing something every year for that. So this was just a pain added to it, but it's worth it.
Now listen, if you really wanted to get them some money, get your gooch waxed.
YouTube wouldn't like that on the live stream.
You could just blur everything out. All they need to do is see your face, like,
Oh.
gooch waxing 101. Support the troops. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, what else we got in the chat here? We still have a few more minutes. Rose says we're lucky here in the States that nearly 98% of our TP is manufactured here. Only thing that can cause a real problem would be transport. Father and oldest brother were truckers, so know the issues. Yeah, that's our only experience here in the United States. We had a in the 70s, I think it was in the 70s, we had a trucker strike. What I think lorries, you guys call them lorries?
Yeah. We call them trucks as well. It's fine.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. I got to learn the UK lingo. No, in the 70s, and it basically shut down the food supply for like a week.
Yeah,
people started really freaking out about it, but we still weren't doing that just in time logistics model. It was still very much, we had lots of food and things like that. But yeah, I think that's what she is referencing there. And then Grumpy says, Grumpy's a former Marine. He's a friend of mine. He says, LP seemed too familiar with that. Goofy waxing was like disturbing thought. I hope it's ingrained in your brain. I hope tonight, like when you're like kissing your wife goodnight, and you're reaching over to turn the light out, that you're like, "Ooh, it's flashes in flash." I'm like, every time I say the word grumpy, flash. Let's see here. Polonium says, I offered him. I guess those are pounds, 300 pounds for both eyebrows last night. Ooh, and you didn't take it?
No.
What kind of veteran are you? No, I wouldn't do it either. Can you
imagine the first meeting at work next week? It's like, yeah, don't ask, guys.
It's for charity, okay? Where are we at here? The United House of Polaris, to the UK Urban Prepper, you said they... Hold the
board. Funky Prepper for having connections with right-wing groups. Can you name the group in phonetics, please? No. Basically, it was a group that had been already labelled. We have a terrorist list over here. So you can be in a part of a right-wing group, which is absolutely fine. It's your politics, whether you're left-wing or right-wing, that's not a problem. If they make them way onto the terrorist list, then yeah, shouldn't be supporting them. So yeah.
Gotcha. Well, he tried to trick you. That happens to me from time to time too. Somebody actually tricked me into singing a song once. All right. Okay, so looks like we've hit our hour here, and it's the middle of the night there for sure, but he's a night owl. I want to thank you guys all for hanging out with us. I had a great time. We're definitely going to have to do this again, especially after I get you in that Discord. You find out how many like YouTube developers really want to do this stuff. Okay, I think that's going to be about it. Any last words you want to promote your channel?
No, I mean, I'd love to get some American influence over there as well on the channel, so hopefully Local Prepper will come and join me on my channel at some point for a podcast, so we'll do that. So yeah, come and check it out. I interview preppers from all over the world. We've had Polish preppers, we've had Eastern European preppers and stuff like that, so it's an interesting perspective. That's about it.
Perfect. Guys, if you want to check him out, make sure you do so. There's a link in the description for his YouTube channel. All right, guys, as usual, stay safe. Have a great day, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye-bye. I'm going to find a button to push. There's like buttons that I can push to make things go. I'm just not familiar with the software. I'm just... I feel so dumb. I feel so dumb.
The professional ending.
I feel so dumb when I do this. All right, I'm going to push this one right here. Later.